Hi, I'm Lisa Capalla. Welcome to Where's Wilmington. You better get settled because this show is going to be an interesting ride. We have Bob De Palma with us from the Food Pantry. He likes to call it the Food Commissary, but we'll get to that later. And next to him is the lovely Jo Marie O'Mahony. She is from the Women of Wilmington. But basically, we're going to be talking about two topics this evening. The first half of our show is going to be focusing on the Food Pantry, and the second half we're going to talk about the Women of Wilmington. And Caitlin Weinstein is going to be joining us for the second half. So let's get right down to it. So the Food Pantry in Wilmington, how long has it existed, Bob? Because you were on my show about, 8 or 9 years ago, I think now, talking about that.
We celebrated our 20th year this year. We opened January 11th, 1992.
Wow.
So it was 20 years as of that date.
Now you've moved locations though.
We were originally at the Swain School, which is no longer there.
Which I miss. Yeah. I don't miss the rodents and the issues with the building, but I definitely miss the building itself.
Well, we're in a much better location now.
Now where are you now?
We're at the Old South School, located on Chestnut Street, and an interesting part of town. It's a lovely area. We've got parking. We've got it's where the former skating club used to be. Right.
And actually, we have some footage we're going to show. We want to thank Paul Hipple and Bob Boyce for going down and checking out the facility and taking a look at that. And I understand that that did used to be a skating rink, and you've got a chimney in there, and you have a beautiful little walkway that people can get up. It's quite nice, actually. A lot bigger than what you had.
Well, what we had when we were given the building by the town to use. We had every organization in town helping out. So we had the Knights of Columbus building a wheelchair accessible ramp. We had the Masons building us shelving units inside, and they're going to be building more shelving units inside the pod.
Oh, great.
So
excellent.
That's new. We had an Eagle Scout putting a loading dock on the back of the building for us. And we had a new furnace that was donated because the other one was so antiquated. And along with it, we got central air, so the town was nice enough to install all that. So we've made some improvements to the building and that make it more workable for everybody.
Really nice. Now, I know the only thing on your wish list currently is that you need your chimney checked. So if there's anybody out there that wants to go by and check out the chimney for them, you can certainly do that. But other than that, what are the other things that you need?
Well, we've been fortunate. We got some heavy-duty shelving when we first opened, which has met our needs. We've had additional shelving built on movable racks, which come in handy. We had 2 refrigerators and 2 freezers given to us.
Nice.
One of the refrigerators is on its way out, so at some point we will have to replace that.
Okay, Santa, we'll add that to the list too.
But that lets us accept any type of food that's donated.
Excellent. And it's good that you brought that up because the footage we're going to see shows that you're looking a little overstocked. But I'm going to guess that has to do with the holiday giving time and people feeling very generous. And I know Wilmington has been a very generous community. So let's talk a little bit about that. When we look at the footage, we're going to see that it looks like you're overstuffed, but that's not always the case.
Well, it's a temporary condition. Right now, at the end of October, the shelves were empty.
Really?
We were just able to pick up enough food that we needed for the next time we were open. So we really weren't keeping up with what we needed.
Right.
Well, once the holidays, people start thinking of Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they think of giving, and then we reached out to the community in a big way. That's where Jo Marie came in handy on that time.
Excellent.
And the community, like they always do, they just were so giving. Wilmington has impressed me since the day we first asked the community to help us out with the food pantry. I've always said that this is one of the best towns to be broke in because there are so many services that are available, and there's we could meet so many needs.
Right.
And so that's what happened. We had this but it's not only schools. It's the community in general. All right, it's the different fraternal organizations, so many businesses in town, different clubs. We don't get donations from any one area. We get it from all of those areas. So right now, we're very, very fortunate. We take advantage of that.
Right.
Because we know after Christmas.
Right. Because what I want to talk about now is the need. how great the need is. And I know when you came to see me the first time, you said that the economy was tough then and that you saw more and more people coming into the facility. It's got to be a little bit worse now than it was then. I would imagine you have even more folks that are in need.
Well, we do. The numbers are always increasing. They're never decreasing.
Right.
They're always increasing. Some people may get off of our list because they've been able to improve their situation. Others come on, but there's always more coming on than going off. And so if the economy is improving, with the clientele that we help, we don't see the improvement at that level.
Right, but it's good that you're there to help. That's good that the need is there and that you're able to fulfill that. And now, why, Jo Marie, did you and your friends get involved with the food pantry? There's no time for anybody in this world, and I know you're a very busy lady and you belong to many organizations, but why specifically the food pantry? Why did that ring true for you?
It was actually Bob De Palma that rang true for me more than the food pantry initially.
We'll get some tissues.
On a very special.
Yes.
No, I met Bob when Women of Wilmington started becoming a larger organization originally, and we'll get into the history more later. But originally we thought it was going to just be a small group of friends doing kind of what we'd always done.
Right.
When we realized we were becoming a larger group and we were going to have the ability to help more than we thought we were going to be able to, we started reaching out to other organizations. So we reached out to the Community Fund and Bob specifically, and I met with Bob March.
Well, it was after you got the Good Guy Award.
It was before.
Was it? The initial meeting.
It was before the Good Guy.
You're right. But we didn't talk about the food pantry at that time.
We did. I have notes.
Kids, let's try to get along here.
So it was March of 2011 that we met with Bob, and we talked about different things.
And obviously you developed a nice friendship.
We did.
You can see that.
Oh, I kind of like him.
You're an excellent actor, Bob, right? So there's a misnomer out there, and we like to dispel myths here at WCTV, that you are stepping down and handing the torch over to the Women of Wilmington, that you are leaving the food pantry. Can you please say that is not so?
All right, well, let's clarify that to our thousands of listeners and watchers that are out there tonight.
Yes.
What I was looking for originally was someone to step up and to run the food pantry, but I would still be there as a volunteer.
Right.
What I wanted to do was not be the point person anymore. I have done it for 20 years. I still love it.
Right.
But every time you bring in new people, you bring in new ideas, so there has to be better ways to do it. I think I've exhausted most of my ideas, and so now I was looking for some new people to take over so that if I did want to go...
So you needed some fresh meat, pardon the pun?
I'm not touching that line.
Okay. It is a food pantry, right?
Yeah.
So when they came in, it's sort of like a partnership now.
It is.
Yes.
And
a collaboration.
It was really, in one of... After Bob and I got to know each other, I knew, he had been doing it for 20 years, and he was looking to not have to do the day-to-day stuff as much. So I did reach out to my board on the Women of Wilmington and expressed my interest in wanting to become more of a part of it, to see if anyone else did. And Bob won't say this, but it took 3 of us basically to learn all that he had done. So there's 3, myself, Michelle Bryan, and Tricia Lambert, that have kind of begun and over this past year have learned just the day-to-day operation stuff, how to get through the Thanksgiving distributions.
Right.
So now we're able to help Bob pick up donations, go to different events that he might not be able to go to or not want to go to necessarily if he has other things going on in his own life.
You have a life?
I'm getting one.
Oh, good.
And we
That's
have,
good.
and Michelle Bryan actually is now also on the Community Fund board. So it's a collaboration, and I know everyone, because I was involved, that was the word on the street, that we were taking over the community.
Yes, well, we are setting the
food
record
pantry.
straight. Bob De Palma is not leaving anytime soon.
And the Women of Wilmington has, we do send out when there's a need for volunteers, or when resources are low and we need extra help with drives. They've obviously been one of the organizations that have stepped up and helped a lot. We have a lot of manpower,
excellent.
and we're hoping to implement. We've kind of taken over the school supplies every August. the food pantry would put together school supplies for all the children, and WOW now does that with backpacks and things like that. And we're
Oh, so you don't just have foodstuffs, you have other things as well.
We try to do other outreach. We're
great.
actually one of the schools that approached WOW to do a pajama drive. They wanted to do pajamas, so we're going to give all the kids of the food pantry new pajamas in
Nice.
January and things like that. So.
It's a good collaboration.
Yes.
It truly is. And yeah, I'm very, very pleased.
Now-
They do come to our aid a lot.
Excellent. The folks that are in need of these services, how do they qualify and how do they go about that? And I know we had talked a lot about the embarrassment factor that some folks might have.
And we are very, very sensitive to that. We know that it's very difficult, and sometimes there are people who just can't cross that threshold. They just can't do it.
Right.
You know, and we try, you know, to make them feel as comfortable as possible. When people come in there, I think after a while they do relax. They feel
Right.
very
Right.
comfortable, and especially if there's kids involved,
Right.
we get them to see that it's necessary.
Right, right.
Yeah.
How do they do it, though? Do they apply? Or are there guidelines?
They can come in, and we have an application form, which is not, it's loosely structured. And it's to sort of give us an idea of how many people are in the family. Do they have any special dietary needs? We want to know that. Yes, and we want to make sure they're a Wilmington resident, because every town has their own food pantry. So
Right.
if they come to us and they're from another town, we'll just point them in the right direction.
Right.
And then
So this isn't something like where they have to have their tax returns or they have to show you their income level. It's nothing like that. It's more for you to be
well,
able to provide
we
them
do
needs?
want to see. There's nothing. There are no records like that we keep.
Okay.
But we do want to see that there is a legitimate financial need.
Okay.
And that we owe that to the people who make all the
Absolutely.
donations to us.
Absolutely. But you know how people get fearful, especially with, you know, all of the technology we have today, that if I'm going to write something down, everyone's going to know my business.
No,
you know?
we actually have, it's still a paper application, which is one of the things we're discussing now,
Yeah.
updating the process just a little bit so we can cross-check information that people
So
give
it's
us.
fairly easy to do, and folks can come down and feel confident that you
And
will,
feel
you know,
comfortable.
that you'll keep it somewhat anonymous.
And
Yeah,
we're
for
still
them.
able to give them a shopping list. This is
Well, that's
this is a
nice.
little unique amongst the food pantries, you know, in the area. We don't just give them what we think they should get and pack a box and give it to them. We have a shopping list, so they tell us what they need.
Wow, that's
And
really
we
neat.
give them what
And if-
they want.
If you go to the Wilmington Community Fund website, it actually has the guidelines of what they should bring when they're coming to apply.
Excellent. I can't believe that we're done with this first segment, guys, already.
just
So what
warming
I
up.
know, what I'm going to ask before we bring Caitlin out is how gratifying is it for both of you to see the folks when they leave with their parcels and you know that they're being well fed? How does that feel for you?
You feel good. Now, recently, Joe Marie and I went to a program that was being held up at Endicott College?
Yes.
Yeah, Endicott College in Beverly. And it was on hunger. And in the little book to sign in at the end when we were leaving, you know, I wrote in, I'm glad 20 years ago this is what I decided to do because I felt it was a good use of my time.
Right.
I felt that way. That's the way I feel. That if I put 20 years into this, it was time well spent.
Right.
For a lot of people.
Because I would think, Jo Marie, it's emotional to
Oh,
be
it's
there
very-
and know that you're really helping people. It's got to be
Absolutely.
very gratifying for you to do.
Absolutely.
I know they always say when you volunteer, you get more back than what you give out. I know that's
Yep.
true in this case, too.
I agree.
Well, if there's anything that you need from the community, now's the time to ask. We need the chimney looked at. Your shelves are full right now, but probably by springtime you'll
Come
need more.
February, we'll be looking for food drives. We have some
Okay.
food drives already scheduled
Right.
for February, so we think ahead like that
Okay.
and try and space out
Right.
during the year.
And if anybody does have anything they'd like to donate to you or want to help you, they can get in touch with you. How?
Through our website,
Which
we
is?
do, which is comfund.org.
Okay.
We have a phone number that you can call.
Which is?
Which is 978-658-7425.
Excellent.
Or they can just come and knock on our door down at the
Beautiful.
food pantry.
All right, Jo Marie's going to stay right there. Bob's going to leave in a second. What you're going to see next is the footage that was shot by our volunteers. Very nice of them to go down and take a look at the facility. Paul Hipple and Bob Boyce did that. So take a look at that. You'll get a chance to see inside the facility, see a little bit about what they were talking about. And when we come back, we'll be talking with the women of Wilmington about what that's all about. So stay right there. Hello, welcome back to Where's Wilmington. If you've just joined us, the footage that you just saw was taken at the Wilmington Food Pantry, and we were looking a little bit at that facility there. We're going to switch our focus a little bit now and talk to Jo Marie O'Mahony, who's still here. She didn't run away yet. And she brought along with her friend Caitlin Weinstein, and they are both from the Women of Wilmington. Yeah. How did you come up with that name?
It was our friend's husband actually thought it would be funny to have the initials say WOW.
That's really cute. It's very catchy.
It is very catchy. We started 2 years ago thinking we were just going to be a group of 30 of us doing the work we'd always kind of been doing since we've been in Wilmington. And we didn't really think of the name too much at that point.
Right, because you were all just friends hanging out.
Exactly.
But you had to actually form a group and name yourself. Yeah.
Right,
okay.
right.
So after you did that, how many more people joined?
We have 354 members as of this morning.
Really?
So, yeah.
And they're all Wilmington women?
It's not just women. That's why we probably should have thought of the name.
Put a mirror under the W, it'll be an M.
Exactly. Well, WOW men, we've decided for the men. And then we have children. Both of our children, our oldest children, are actually members.
Members, yeah.
Amazing.
So anyone can join, even though it's Women of Wilmington. That's why we're kind of lean towards the WOW part of the name now, because it's open to anyone. You don't even have to be a Wilmington resident, and you don't have to be a woman. So.
Oh, all right. Well, that's good to know. How does one get involved? Should someone be watching and see how much fun you two ladies are having and want to be part of the party? How do we do that?
You can email through womenofwilmington.org. Just shoot an email saying I'm interested in becoming a member, and we will get you signed up. We do everything. There's no membership requirements except that you are committed to doing 2, we call them acts of kindness a year. So it can be anything from donating pencils for school supplies, to cooking a meal, to giving a ride, to yard cleanup.
Now this is the honor system, or do you, Jo Marie, go around and make sure everybody's giving the toothpaste away and all the goodies and so forth?
We do all of our calendars on the Lots of Helping Hands website, so all of our volunteers can sign up for a donation or an activity through that site. So it does keep track. We haven't kicked anyone out, but it does keep track.
I think 2 acts of kindness, that's pretty manageable, even in the busy lives we all have.
Well, and I like to hold myself out as that example that, I work, I have a job, I have children, I'm involved in other activities, and if I can find time and resources, because it's not just time, some people financially don't have the ability to make large donations or things like that, so we try to offer a mix of things. So whether it's you only have time to grab an extra box of pencils, great, or you might not have the resources to do something like that.
Well, there are many ways. You can barter services, you can babysit, you can just give somebody a hug, for goodness sake. Sometimes that's all it takes. So, if you're thinking, oh gee, I don't have the resources, where there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely.
Right? So, you two ladies have known each other, what, a couple of weeks now? Long time, right? Caitlin, how long have you known this lady for?
Jo Marie and I met when we were in kindergarten.
Nice.
Her mom was one of our teachers.
Yeah, my mom, who's also a member of WOW.
Okay.
Who still is in Burlington, next town over. There's a membership.
So you were part of this group of 30, the original group that were doing all these nice things, and then you became part of the bigger organization.
Yeah, I think it all started with Jo Marie every December would send out an email saying, let's do the Someone Club, where we go out and we find families in need and we just try to buy their holiday list for them.
Okay.
And it kind of all started with that. She was the mastermind behind this.
Now you've got some notes there. What do you want to share with the folks?
We just actually came off of a very, very successful fundraiser this weekend, the Festival of Trees.
Which was Katie's brainchild.
Gorgeous.
Nice.
But I co-chaired it with Becky McGrath, who's another board member. She's very talented.
Nice.
And yeah, it was amazingly successful. And with the proceeds we made from that, we're going to be able to help give families a brighter holiday.
Nice.
And we think we'll even have more leftover funds to do our scholarship fund again.
Excellent.
So these are just some of the things we did this year, in addition to just the acts of kindness. But this year we're going to be able to give 8 families a better holiday.
Wow, that's really
which
great.
includes 23 children. We donated 55 pies to the food pantry for Thanksgiving this year. We also donated 60 cleaning supply baskets to food pantry families.
Wow.
We made 30 Easter baskets for local families in need. And then we like to support our teachers in the school system too, and we try to, every year we have people nominate teachers that are going above and beyond in community service. And this year we gave 2 iPads to high
Wow.
school teachers
That
that are
is nice.
doing, the memorial, the 9/11 memorial.
Excellent,
So we wanted to recognize the teachers.
And you have something big coming up in April. Let's talk about that.
Right. We
Yeah.
have we try to focus on community service, so we don't want to be a group centered around fundraising. So as
Okay.
a board, we kind of committed to only having 2 large fundraisers a year that hopefully would fund all of our outreach.
Okay.
So we just had the Festival of Trees, which is our winter fundraiser. Next year it's going to be the 7th and 8th, we think, already. We know.
Okay, great.
December 7th and 8th, Villanova Hall.
Nice.
And then in the spring we have
Okay.
our big road race. The
Oh, okay.
it'll be our 3rd annual road race, and that's going to be April 28th of 2013.
Okay, and this is all on your website, so when
Yes.
people go there to sign up to become members, they can also find out what's available. Now, what if someone doesn't want to become a member, but they just want to do something nice?
They can email me. They can, and through the same email address. We have people all the time that are saying, I just want to donate to a family for Christmas. We heard that you guys do this program. I just want to buy a gift. I don't want to necessarily join. I just want to buy a gift, and I can help them.
Okay.
Get
What do you
hooked up.
think is the biggest myth about your organization? What do you think people think about the Women of Wilmington and what you really are? Do they think it's just a girls' club and you're all out having fun drinking wine? What do you think people think about the organization?
What I found most interesting is people think we're kind of everywhere. And like,
are.
like the whole food pantry thing,
Right.
just by our involvement in different things. I think the concern is that we've kind of become the dominators of all community service in town, and Wilmington's phenomenal. There are so many great organizations in this town,
Right.
and our role is just to support other organizations where we can.
I mean,
so.
the idea is not for you to be in the spotlight, obviously, and if that happens, there's not much you can do about that.
Absolutely.
It speaks to your commitment to doing what you're doing, but that doesn't diminish what everybody else is doing.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that's the other myth that I constantly am saying with WOW is WOW isn't Joe Marie O'Mahony. I'm hoping and praying WOW will be around long after I am not here. I had a board, my founding board members who started this with me.
Right.
I have 354 angels that are members now that do everything. So it's not,
Takes a village, and there's only one of you.
Absolutely.
So you both must have been brought up with the idea of being giving people, otherwise you wouldn't be passing this along to your children. Where did you get all of your sense of giving back to the community from? Either of you can respond to that.
Go ahead, Katie. We're both products of public school teachers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it. I think we grew up in a town, Burlington was a town that community service was a big deal.
Right. Did your parents have you out doing things like that? What kinds of things did you do as a kid? Like, did you do the soup kitchen things and all that kind of stuff? Or what?
I saw my parents kind of do it as part of their everyday lives. So my dad was always our coach for things, and my mom was always involved in our school activities. So if there was ever a need in the school, she was the one there to,
Right.
she started the post-graduation party for the high school graduates so that they'd have a safe place to be after graduation, things like that.
So for you, you learned about how to do it when you were growing up. So that probably made it easier because you had seen it. But it was just probably second nature to you.
Yeah, and
Now
that's
your
what we're doing for our
kids are
kids.
involved. Yeah. So
Yes.
how great is that for you to see your kids getting involved? Talk
I
a little
love
bit
it. I
about
love it when my son, he comes to me, he's like, Mom, I want to have a yard sale, and 50% of all the money we make, I want to give to a local charity. And he's coming up with these ideas on his own.
And you're not pulling his ear to get him to do it.
No, it was his
He's giving the
idea.
idea to
He
you.
came up
He's
with
8.
the idea.
He's
He came
8.
up with the idea to have a yard sale. And then
So that means you're doing something right, which is
like-
good because it's carrying on. That's important. How do you feel when the end of the year comes and you see all the things that you've achieved?
It's unbelievable. I think every year, my husband was away for a year with the Army, and it was,
Oh, you're a military wife as well. Oh my Lord! Wow.
but he, but that year, my friends were saying, well, we're not going to do that holiday thing this year, right? Because at that point we had 5 families, and there was a lot of work. We were wrapping at my house, and I said, of course, that's Christmas to me now, is to do that. And every year when that last minivan is loaded up and they're going to deliver to the families, I feel like now it's complete. Now the season is complete.
But you don't get much rest because the need is always there.
Right.
Like we talked about with Bob in the first segment, the need is becoming greater and greater as things get more difficult in this universe. So
Right.
obviously, yes, you can pack the truck up, but I bet you 2 days later, you're sending out emails and planning for the next year. Right.
which is great.
Yes, it is great.
It's a good use
Now,
of energy.
what kind of big projects have you not been able to do that you would like to do because you don't have enough assistance? Let's put that out there.
My ultimate goal for
Yes,
Wilmington,
let's hear it.
I wanted to have a community center in town.
You do.
I do. And they know this and they laugh because originally it was such a dream that no one thought it was possible. And as we continue to plug away, it now looks like maybe someday we can
Really?
do it. I'm
Okay.
hopeful.
And your vision for the community center, what would it be like?
It's difficult because people suggest we'll have it be like a Boys and Girls Club or a YMCA. But I want it to be a community center. I want it to
Right,
be
for everyone.
a place, there is a need. I believe there is a need for older children to have a place to be after school and half
Right.
days. It drives me
I
crazy.
mean, we have the senior center, but it's small, and I'm sure Terry Masiello will say it needs some improvement and some updating. I live in Tewksbury, and they have a beautiful center, but it took a long time to get there. So maybe there's a way you could combine all of those resources into one thing.
I would love to see
Have you
that.
scouted buildings or anything yet?
No, not yet. We're not that far
Okay.
along the road yet, but hopefully.
But that's your big dream to do
That's my
that.
big dream.
Well,
Five or 10 years.
You put it out there, now you've said it out loud, now it has to come true.
Yeah.
We'll call it the Joe Marie O'Mahony Community
No,
Center.
no,
we won't
no,
do
my
that.
name
We
is
won't
too
do
much
that.
of a mouthful to
I'm
get a
just teasing
building.
you. I'm just teasing you. So, Caitlin, what kinds of things do you do in the organization? I know Joe Marie has talked about sending out emails and things. What's really your hat that you wear for the organization? Is there anything special that's your bailiwick?
So my little baby, I guess, is the Festival of Trees.
You really love that.
I love it.
She started
Now, what
it.
does it take to make that happen the way that it does? Because it's quite well orchestrated. So
Yeah,
how do
there's-
you get that to go off like it does?
I mean, well, last year it was a lot more work because it was the first year we did it. But
Right.
this year, it was that much easier. So it's
And I
our
would
second
imagine
year
as you
doing it.
learn what your challenges are, the next year you say, we'll bring extra extension cords, or we'll never do that, or
Yep.
this or that. So what challenges have you overcome? Last year, what happened that this year didn't happen that you're happy about? We had
Last
better
year,
weather this
we,
year.
Yeah, we had beautiful weather. Weather is going to be a key factor all the time, and we plan it around the tree lighting because we know that the 4th of July committee puts on a wonderful evening for
Mm-hmm.
Wilmington residents that night. So we kind of try to get their population to come see the Festival of Trees.
Right, right.
It'd be great as another vision of mine
Yes,
would be
put
to
it out
have
there.
like a Wilmington does such an awesome job for the 4th of July festivities.
right.
I'd love to see them do like the first weekend of December every year, have it be a winter festival.
Oh, I think
and just
that's a
have
great idea. Mm-hmm.
every nonprofit in town like maybe put together something of their own.
That sounds lovely.
yeah. So
And you'll just be heading that right up, won't you?
Yeah.
That'll be great. Maybe we'll send some WCTV people down there to get some crowd reaction. That would be great. So as far as the Festival of the Trees goes, this year you did really well with that, better than last year.
This year, I mean, our biggest challenge, I think, or where I get the most worried is I tend to try to get everything done early, very organized in the donations, not having the donations early enough. Like I wanted to know everybody's donation November 1st, and people just aren't on the same page as me. They're not thinking Christmas November 1st. They're
Really?
thinking we have Thanksgiving.
Who are these people? I'm the same way.
But,
my Christmas shopping's done, everything's wrapped. My
yeah,
whole family wants to kill
exactly.
me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do too.
I'm just like you.
But but once the donations started coming in, Becky and I knew we were going to have another beautiful display.
Nice.
So really, it's just more always having that fear of, are we going to have enough
Right.
to raffle off?
Right.
And it's great because it's a free event. You can bring. You don't have to participate in the raffle. We'd love to see.
Right. As Bob said, this is a great town to be broken. He's right. The 4th of July that this community puts on is amazing. And
It
if
is
we could get even
amazing.
half of that for December, that would be great too.
Yeah, that'd be
Excellent.
great.
Anything final you'd like our viewers to know before you scoot on off to your real lives and go do your good deeds?
Just see our website for all that. We do have a lot of different outreach programs that aren't being utilized as much as they could be. With the Sponsored Child program for kids who want to do an activity that their parents might not necessarily be able to afford.
Oh, really?
We are referring agencies now for Lowell Wish and Mission of Deeds for anyone who needs household goods or clothing or things like that.
Okay.
So just go to womenofwilmington.org and hopefully you'll learn more about us. And
Excellent.
definitely email me. I'm on email a lot. And
Okay.
there's no.
Do you guys have a Facebook page or
Yes,
what
we
you
do.
Oh,
Yeah, yes,
well,
we
I can
do.
go and like you right after this.
Absolutely,
That's
like
great.
the women of Wilmington.
Anything you would like to ask for from the community or anything final you'd like to add before we go?
No, I just think we want to continue doing all that we're doing, and
Excellent.
you know, and offer our support to other organizations. We're not trying to take everything over. We're trying
Right.
just to be any help that we can give. That's what we're here for.
Because you know, it's not about jealousy. It's about getting the job done.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Everybody has to put their egos at the door.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what we learned, I think, in our first year, is that we move so quick
Right.
that we could be seen as
Well,
intimidating.
and you know, too, sometimes
Yeah.
when you do things really well, there's a sense that, you know, who are they? Who do they think they are?
Right.
And
Yeah.
sometimes that can happen, but that usually will dispel itself after you've done enough in the community and proven
Absolutely.
yourself. No one can say that. So, well, thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you for
Thanks for
watching.
having
I
us.
hope you've been inspired to do what you can to help your community, even if it's not through these great organizations that we've talked about. You know, hug your kid, shovel out your neighbor when it's snowing. Do what you can to be good to each other so that maybe someday these organizations won't be needed and Joe Marie and Caitlin can get some sleep, which would be really great. No, I'm just kidding. Seriously though, let's try to take their example and move forward with it, because that's what it's all about. So I want to thank you both for being with us tonight, and I want to thank Bob De Palma also for all the hard work you've put into this community forever, probably, it seems. And I know you just had a birthday recently, so I do want to wish you a happy birthday. And thanks, everybody, for watching. The next time somebody asks you, where's Wilmington, you tell them right here and right here on WCTV. We'll see you next time.